Hello humans, Artist with the Fro here, and welcome back to the show. Today is May 21st. We have a few things to go over and a few things to talk about, but in this video I'm kind of going to cut to the chase. We have about 5 days until the Magistus, or rather the first Magistus, I guess, trailer comes out, or short rather. So I figured we'd take today to look at the trailer, and then throughout the week I'm going to release a few videos talking about some theories, what I kind of hope or expect to see, and where we can possibly see this this first episode talking about Aleister. I'm assuming it's actually going to be Aleister the Reminiscent, really showcasing the newer cards that have just released, as opposed to Aleister, the one that we know and love from his Magistus version. So we're going to take a look at the trailer. Before that, again, as always, thank you all for liking, commenting, subscribing. I've been responding to almost all of the comments. If I haven't gotten to yours, I'll make sure that I comment on it. And thank you all for joining us as we watch some of these videos. I'm super excited. I think a lot of the times I built this channel talking about lore, talking about different things, and I really got interested in the Magistus storyline, and it's cool to finally see it come to sort of production now, and now we're finally getting full-fledged episodes. Hopefully these are a little bit longer. Fingers crossed we actually get a lot more context of what happens in between the lore, between the original Magistus story and what we're seeing now in the Magical War story in the Regulus arc. But without further ado, I know I've kind of yapped on a bit. We're going to watch the trailer. There's a few things I have seen, so we are going to kind of go over it. And then I'll talk more in depth about those things in another video after the fact. So let's check out the trailer of the Magistus. Make it full screen. Alright, so it looks like Aleister is they're traveling somewhere. Okay. Seems like people are working towards something. And then we have a card or a person that looks very familiar. And he's able to summon the books. Interesting.
Magistus.
Interesting. Okay, Aleister the Invoker. May 24th. Oh my gosh. I actually got it wrong. Holy cow. I thought he was going to come out. I thought this was May 26th. Wow, I was really off. Okay. All right. So we got a few things to talk about. This was only a minute long, but there's a lot of stuff in here that I think is going to be interesting to overlook. So, of course, obviously, we're going to get the next Chronicle series. This is the Magistus. It seems like Aleister is traveling. Seems like he's traveling with a group of people. It seems like they're being protected by some sort of sphere, so that way I'm guessing monsters don't attack them. Now, what I assume is that because this is after the main Magistus storyline, I don't know whether or not Endymion has taken over, or rather whether he's begun to sort of enforce the Black Stone of Magics. But in the later Magical War story, the Black Stones are used as power sources in order for people to either like protect themselves or help their village and so on and so forth. So what I assume what we're seeing here is either one of two things. It's either somebody's using or channeling the power from the magical stones that Endymion has, or Aleister himself is protecting the carriage as they're going. But the reason why I don't think it's the latter is because of what we see in sort of the next scene. It seems like Aleister is kind of secluding himself or hiding, and it wouldn't make much sense to me unless the barrier is like invisible or undetectable by other people. It doesn't make sense that the barrier itself would be something that he would be channeling while also trying to like hide and seclude himself. So I think that it's going to be the former. I think that somebody's using maybe Endymion's magical stones to shield this sort of transport of these people going possibly from one village to the next. We've got a few people, some bystanders. There's Aleister there over in the corner. There's a woman and a young girl, which we can assume are probably going to be mother and daughter. And it all seems like they're going to this castle or this place where we see the next scene. after the close-up, it seems like they arrive. So they arrive here. It looks like their clothes are kind of torn. The daughter is looking probably a little bit concerned. The mother also. And then we cut to this scene, and it seems like you have people that are mining for something. Now, what's also very interesting is that the original Magistus story, Greybeard was this place that all of the magicians lived, and they separated themselves from people that couldn't use magic. It seems like there was a big conflict between magic users and non-magic users. But what we're seeing here is some sort of, I guess, oppression. It seems like whatever these people are being forced to do, it's like they're channeling or powering kind of like these mills. And I really wonder if this is happening within Endymion's kingdom, and he's kind of not aware of it, but it's more like magicians of other areas are kind of just like, well, I can force humans to do things, and as a result, they can like power, my village or power my town. So I assume that the character that we're going to see, the other spellcaster, is possibly using these humans kind of as like indentured prisoners or something like that, and servants, and making them sort of operate this mill in order to kind of like generate some sort of power source, maybe to mine more of the power stones. So now we get to this character, and at first, I'll be honest, the first time I saw this person, I thought that they were Aleister, because there was the trap card, I believe. It's either the trap card or it's the new fusion monster. One or the other, they showed a character, and I was like, that doesn't look like Aleister, or if it does, his hair is kind of down, but it's in like a different pattern. It's different from what we've seen. So it seems like this is the character that we've seen in the new Aleister card, and I'll show it on the screen right now. But it's going to be interesting to see how this person relates. Seems like they have a staff. I'm assuming the staff itself, if they don't have their own magical ability, they're probably amplifying it with the magical stones. And again, I'm saying magical stones because there's a lot of references in the Magical War story arc where Endymion has created the magical stones and spellcasters are using it to amplify their own abilities. So I assume that he's using that. I assume that that's what we're seeing. He seems to not necessarily be much of a friendly person, this person here. And it seems like they're going to have a main conflict with Aleister. It seems like that sort of tiger lion thing that was chasing, or rather following, Aleister and the crew as they were traveling from place to place, seems like it's arrived here. We assume that this person, I guess, has dominion or control over it, or is channeling it. It's kind of like a familiar possessed. So it looks like they're going to have some sort of conflict with Aleister. Looks like they're arriving out of the town, and this again is something that we're also seeing, right? So you have the spellcaster person here. I'm going to make this full screen so everybody can see. You have the spellcaster person right here. Right above my head, you can see again more of those servants. It seems like they're being forced to carry this sort of palanquin type of structure that this person's on, and then it seems like they're also channeling or controlling this little like tiger thingamajig. I think in the other trailer we probably saw that the tiger was going to attack the little girl, but it looks like Aleister has arrived to save them. Interesting also to note, it looks like they have a spell book in their hand. I wonder if that is a actual spell book or if that's just again another random prop that they're using. But we have no introduction to this character. This character was not included in any of the new Aleister cards, but I assume that we're going to get it as an Aleister card. It looks like another spellcaster type monster. So it looks like they're able to control that little lion tiger thing. That thing attacks. Aleister dodges. We reveal his actual full outfit. Looks like the little cat thing is kind of like confused. And then this guy seems to be frustrated because his dastardly plan has been thwarted. So he's a little bit kind of like disgruntled. Aleister then apparently introduces himself. I'm guessing he looks pretty happy. The little lion tiger thing growls because now it's mad that it just got punked and it's now charging. And this is another thing that we're seeing too. So Aleister is able to conjure up the spell books. Again, if you have seen some of my shorts, I had a big thing about him having the spell books, being the first prophesier, and then eventually passing that power on to the charmers. But it looks as if he's able to channel that. We also still need to do a reaction because I have not seen the rest of the charmer shorts, so maybe we'll add that in as well. And I don't know if it is the Book of Law. I have no idea. But interestingly enough, in this last clip, you see that Aleister does have the mark on his hand. I'm not sure if he had that mark on his hand when he was Crowley, when he was still a child. But interestingly enough, he does have the mark on his hand. He has the staff, and we're possibly going to see an Aleister fusion or an invoked fusion pretty soon. I assume that that is the Book of Law, the card that he normally carries around. If not, I'd be very surprised if it's something else. And it looks like he's, I guess, ready to use his ability. And then it goes into Magistus. Now, what's interesting here is that he says Magistus, which is, or rather, which were the original spirits from the other world, right? We had the spirits that both Aiwas, Artemis, Aiwas, and Ninaruru were the spirits from the original, I guess, magical world. And then they came over and bestowed their powers upon Riliona, Endymion, and Aleister, thus turning them into the new Magistus. So interestingly enough, he says Magistus. I wonder if he's just saying that in the trailer or if we're going to get that later on. And then finally, of course, we get possibly one of the best looking, I guess, card sleeves that we're going to get. And again, really interesting, showing almost all of the powers behind him. Zoroa having the fire, Ver seemingly holding on to some sort of gem, and then having glass behind her. And then, of course, Endymion having some sort of portal or spell magical power behind him. And then finally, Aleister standing in the middle with the Book of Law, the staff, and the invoked circle underneath, which matches the mark that he has on his hand. So pretty interesting trailer overall. It says that the thing is coming out the 24th. I thought it was going to be the 26th. I thought I had more time, but I guess I don't. So we're going to be kind of like churning out a lot more videos of this as we can. I don't want to keep this one too long, so I am going to end it here. What do you all think of the trailer? What are you either excited or anticipating to see in this one, in this sort of short? And then kind of, yeah, what else do you guys want to see more from the channel? If you like videos like this, please let me know in the comments down below. I'll be churning out a few more shorts this week, as well as some more longer form videos. But with that being said, I've been the artist with the fro. That, my friends, is the show. And thank you all, as always, for watching. Take care.